We told you we knew about the SEC, didn't we? Got both halves of the double play right last night. Unfortunately, that show best bet wasn't so good, was it, Zinno?
You
Nebraska,
suck,
I think, is on
Nebraska.
the DNP list. That stands for
Yes.
do not play.
Yeah. Nebraska, corn sucks. You can't digest it. Comes out in your poop, and the Cornhuskers suck too. So,
Say, not the start to the program I was
well,
anticipating, but yeah,
it was appropriate because that play that we gave out was poo. It was
yeah,
bad.
it was. Hogs, though. You had the Hogs. They
Ooh,
poo,
pig
right?
suey.
Right.
Um,
They got it done. And Texas A&M, what a close to the game they were. They stole one from Ole Miss.
I stand by the fact that I've seen terrorists shoot better than Arkansas. Yeah, they're a bad They're a fundamentally bad basketball team. I will take the little bit of luck we got with Arkansas last night to win that game because guess what? Not good. I would even put them on the do not bet list going forward.
But
There has to be
yeah,
something situationally that screams to me to bet them, but uh, until I see a categorical shift in how they actually play the game of basketball, no, that's a. Uh, remember, they were down by like 20 in the first half. It was bad. You're like
I
this
feel like
team's.
they've been down 20 in every game, like over the
That's what it
like
feels
each of
like.
the last 6 games.
Yeah,
But hey, you got your win, and as you mentioned, let's not bet them again anytime soon.
please
Also, I think
don't.
Coach Cal's put on some weight. It looks like that's not talked
Well,
about enough. But
they,
I
they're
digress.
on the
Let's
hogs
go.
there, so he was trying to
They
fit in
are.
the
They
rest of them.
are. So okay, that's college basketball, and that was yesterday. Today, for the double play, you and I will both be focusing on the NBA. We have an early game for all of us here in the United States because the Spurs and Pacers are playing in Paris. I'll be talking about that in just a little bit. But Mark Zinno,
Hmm.
much closer than Paris to you is the Atlanta Hawks. Kind of a hop, skip, and a jump downtown. They are hosting the Toronto Raptors, a team that does not play well in the United States of America.
No,
Canada's only franchise. They probably wish they were playing in France because the United States has not treated them well this season.
it has not. And if you think you're getting anywhere in Atlanta in a hop, skip, and a jump, you're out of your freaking mind. Traffic in the city is stupid. Anyway, so Toronto is here. Now it's interesting because two things came to play here situationally in this contest. Number one, as you just mentioned, the Raptors and their 1-19 record on the road this year. 1-19. Their only win was at the New Orleans Pelicans back in November. Typically, Atlanta has done a good job at handling the Raptors in the past. They've won 5 of the last 7 and have done okay here at home. The Hawks played last night against Detroit and were god awful. They shot 37% from the field, even less than that from 3. They only scored 101 points. It was a bad night, 104 points. Sorry, it was a bad night for the Hawks offensively. And Trae Young, I don't think, played much into the second half because they were down by 22 early, and it just never ever really materialized into anything. So, nonetheless, it was not a good shooting night for Trae. He was 5 of 13 and only scored 13 points. That depresses this number a little bit here against the Raptors because they are on a back to back and the Raptors are not. So, yeah, let's take a look at the Hawks here laying a shorter number and try to take advantage. Again, we know what the Raptors do on the road. It's not very good at all. And the Hawks offensively should be able to take advantage here. When we look at the Hawks as far as a team with no rest this year, uh, yeah, not that good from a ATS standpoint. So we have to kind of hope for the best here, but take advantage of the situation of the fact that they at 3-5 with no days rest that they can get one here against Toronto. So short enough number, bad enough team. Let's go Atlanta Hawks -4.5.
Turns out Mark Zinno loves the Atlanta Hawks, actually. I knew it all along that there was a spot in your heart for
Oh, by
that
the
team.
way, interesting scheduling note. They have a day off, then they play the Raptors again in Atlanta. So if we don't cash with Atlanta on this one, guess what? Well, if Toronto wins their second road game, we'll bet on Atlanta next time too.
Doing it, but they're not going
What are they
to.
going to win? 2 in a
Smash
row on the
that
road?
like button. Smash that like button if you're rolling with Zinno and the Atlanta Hawks tonight. to send the Toronto Raptors to another loss here in the United States of America. Remember that there was two Canadians? Remember the Vancouver Grizzlies? That sad
Yeah.
experiment. It took them like 6 weeks to realize no one in Vancouver liked the NBA, like basketball.
But it also took some. It's taken them years to figure out that there are no grizzly bears in Memphis.
Oh, I've seen a few.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
I'd like to know where the Grizzlies are hiding in Memphis.
I'll tell
Elvis
you
might
after the
be
show.
walking in Memphis. I
Yeah.
heard Elvis was
Yeah.
walking in Memphis. It's a song that said that.
Yes. Graceland. I've never been to Memphis actually. One of the few, like, I guess,
I drove
like
through it.
party cities that I've never been to.
Drove through it.
Usually I
Yeah.
made it a point to hit most of those in my youth. I was being made fun of on
I've
Twitter for
never
going to
been
a
to
Beastie Boys
Nashville. You know
concert in
that? I've
'98.
never been to Nashville. People tell me it's nuts there. I've never been to Nashville.
I don't like Nashville that much, to be honest with you.
I'd like to know the comment section. Yay or nay on Nashville? They call it Nash Vegas, remember?
You know, I like Austin, Texas better than Nashville, but that's just me.
I do like Austin. It's a little
Yes.
liberal, though.
I don't like country music, so it's hard to like Nashville. So, all
There's a lot of
right.
pink and green hair in Austin.
Okay. Well, there is in France too, and that's the transition I'm going to use to talk about Spurs and Pacers. These two
Awful.
teams, it
Awful.
was not great. It wasn't my best transition. You threw me off with the pink and green hair. Anyway, okay, these teams are playing two in Paris. Have you ever been to Paris, Mark Zinno?
No, I've not.
I have, as a matter of fact.
No.
We took my daughter when she was very young. They
Did you
eat
go to
late
the
there.
Love Lock? Did you go to the Love Lock Bridge and leave a lock on it?
We did actually. We did
Did
not
you
leave a
really?
lock, but I was there. Yeah, we were on that bridge. Yeah, we spent like 3 days in Paris. Yeah.
Wow. It's funny because I was in French Polynesia at Tahiti. They have a smaller version of the Love Lock Bridge in Bora Bora.
Excuse me. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to take today in Paris the San Antonio Spurs plus 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Look, if you look at the form guide here, look, you'll see the Pacers have been playing well as of late, Mark. So they are 8-1 straight up and ATS their last 9 games. Spurs, they haven't been playing so well as of late. 1-6 straight up in ATS their last 7 games. So a sane person may look at those recent records and say, "Oh, well, you got to take Indiana laying the short number." Well, I am many things, but sane is not one of them. Look, when you're hot, you're playing that well, Mark. You don't want a 3-4 day break and to go on the other side of the world, do you? I don't think this is the best time to go to Paris if you're Indiana. Now, the Spurs should have the crowd support. They've got Wembenyama on their side. So this is, I think it's fair to say,
Different.
maybe a bit of a de facto home game. I know San Antonio and Paris, that is more than a hop, skip, and a jump. But again, I think the crowd is going to be rooting for their countrymen. And I think this is a good buy low spot on the Spurs. You look at the season long metrics. Yes, the Pacers have been better recently, but the season long metrics suggest the Pacers are not a demonstrably better team than the Spurs. So I will take the 3. I'm seeing some 3.5s popping up right now. I disagree with the way this line is moving, is all I got to say. Give me San Antonio. And yeah, if they don't cover here,
Uh,
similar to what you said with Hawks Raptors, I am going to take the Spurs the next time out.
yeah, well, again, they're playing 2 games in France on Thursday and Saturday, right?
Yes. Yep.
Um, both of these teams, next game is next Wednesday, the 29th. That would be a spot I'd look to fade against them both as favorites, right? Um, for the Pacers, they're hosting Detroit. The travel may be a little bit more weary than we expect. So let's just kind of wait. I like your look, but I will wait till they get back to the States and they have to clear customs, um, which, full body cavity search, whatever, it could be very uncomfortable for them. And it may take them some days to recover.
Yeah, I hope they have TSA pre-check or global entry. I think that it
Different
exempts
kind of
you
global
from
entry
the
that you're
from the
talking
gambit.
about.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a
well,
different kind of
I
global
don't.
entry.
All right, Mark Zeno, you know what we should talk about? Something you
It's no
don't like to
global
talk
reentry.
about very often, and that is your record. Mark Zeno, you're doing very well as of late. I know you're a modest man. I believe you're 4-0 the last 2 days, though. I'll promote you. If you go to wt.buzz/MZ, right now you can get Mark Zeno's latest winners. The man, like I just said, is
Hey,
4 the last 2 days. And you can get the next 7 days for just $77. That includes Sunday's NFL Conference Championship games. You can do that with Mark, and you can do that with myself as well over at wt.buzz/BP.
yeah, two sort of rocking chair winners, as they say last night. South Carolina in the first half. Listen, I mean, they can't hold on to a damn lead. It's unreal what is happening to the Gamecocks in South Carolina this year basketball. But we get South Carolina in the first half, and then Cal all the way out west. For the somebody doesn't like it when I say it, but for clients, the clients, you guys went 4-0 yesterday, or for the last 2 days, anyway. And by the way, you know what we forgot to do in our NBA games, Brian? You know what we forgot to
I
do?
forgot. What did we forget to do?
We forgot to remind everybody with both of our halves of the double play, like the one commenter. Well, you have to wait until close to tip because you guys should know better than to bet an NBA game in the morning because you don't know who's going to play. So when you take the NBA games, wait till we get closer to tip so we know who's playing.
The guy
Thanks.
was that old. I think everyone's playing in Spurs. My game is mere hours away.
They didn't travel to
8
France
p.m.
to sit the bench.
No, they didn't. They did. I think Wembanyama's going to play for sure. I think we can
Yeah.
safely assume that.
But for tonight, Atlanta, make sure you guys wait till you see who's playing.
Old sounding viewer of the morning wager. I didn't know that we skewed that old.
We are men of the people. We have a wide array of
We do.
audience.
We do. I will
Yeah.
note,
One of the last 2 days, by the way.
Mr. Promotion, you've mentioned it now 6 times in the last 2 minutes. There you go. I will
It's an
mention.
egregious exaggeration. It's the second time I mentioned it.
I mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
I went 0-1-1 yesterday in soccer. Very disappointing. I had a push and a loss.
So
So
you
we're
get
going
for
to try
betting
to
soccer.
bounce back. We're going to try to bounce back from that 36-20 all sports run still. College hoops has been great. We've had the 2 5% winners recently. WVU over Iowa State back on Saturday. Texas over Missouri on Tuesday. I'll have at least one play in college hoops. We're still finalizing Thursday's card
Yeah, it's a
as
very
we.
bad college card for Thursday. Like, you got to love the smaller schools. You got to be willing to dive into the Colonial, aka the Coastal. It's Colonial. What else we got tonight? Like, what is it? The West, the WAC. We got WAC action. We got West Coast
West is
Conference action.
playing the Big Sky.
Let's go Dons.
That's a
You're into
good
that
game.
sort of thing. It's gonna be a very
But you
good
know
game
what?
tonight.
There is one marquee matchup, I should say, on the
Yes,
slate in college hoops. And guess what,
yes,
people?
yes.
We're going to talk about it for our best bet. Maryland
Video.
and Illinois in the Big Ten.
Let's
You and I, Mark Zinno, I
go
believe.
Maryland. Let's go Maryland. Yeah, that's what they did at the Comcast Center, Xfinity Center, whatever it's called. What happened? You went mute. You forgot your
No,
mic went off.
no,
Oh,
no. You
okay.
you threw me off here. I had a wonderful introduction all set up, and
No,
now it's gone.
well, let's go ahead. Go ahead.
It's
Go
never
ahead.
to be heard. You and I
Good.
both like Maryland in general, right? I think you and I are higher on this
Yes.
Maryland team than most.
Yes.
We both think they're top 25 worthy.
Top
And
25 team.
thus,
Yes.
when we were looking at the Wager Talk odds screen this morning before the show, you and I said to each other, 9 points seems like a lot for the Terps to be getting here. We like Illinois is a good team. Illinois is borderline top
Yeah.
10 team in my opinion, but 9 points, that's a lot to lay here. Home court advantage has not been as strong in the Big Ten this year as the last 2 seasons. I would like to point that out.
Hey, see Nebraska. Morons. Anyway, here's the thing. Okay, let's just take a look at Maryland on the road this year. True road games. Guess what, VP? I have a bit of bad news. Maryland in true road games this year, they're 0-4.
I don't like that.
However, on the road at number 8, Purdue, lost by 5, less than 9. On the road against a really bad Washington team, lost by 6, less than 9. On the road at number 9, Oregon, the very next game, lost by 4, that's less than 9. On the road at Northwestern, in overtime, lost by 2, less than 9. I don't need Maryland to win the game. I just need them not to lose by 10, and I don't think they will. This is way too big of a number for a team like Maryland that does so many things well. Look, I get that Illinois is going to have a major size advantage inside, right? Okay. So chances are they're probably going to be better on the boards, and they are going to have a lot of inside opportunities. Maryland will lock them down on the three because they're good on the perimeter. And Maryland's shooting is still very, very good. Yes, Illinois is going to have success, but this is still a team that's 37th in the nation in effective field goal percentage. They are 72nd in three-point shooting, 45th in two-point shooting, and 80th in free throws. They shoot the ball well, Maryland. They play a very good style of basketball. And the fact of the matter is that this team is good enough to stay close with Illinois. And even if they get down big, guess what? They're good enough to come back. I know it's going to be tough on the road. And Illinois, again, I think this total's a little bit too high. It's around 156.5. I think Illinois benefits from making this a rock fight because Maryland can run and they're good at it. I wouldn't want to play that style of game with them at all. I don't think it really benefits Illinois. It benefits Illinois to slow it down. But, again, both of these teams sort of play fast, but I just think that you're going to see a different brand of basketball here between these two teams. If it goes over, guess what? That favors Maryland, right? The way this thing stays under is that Illinois locks down Maryland and doesn't score, or vice versa. Maryland locks down Illinois and they're not scoring. But if it's going back and forth and favoring, Maryland's going to be able to stay in this thing if it goes over. So give us the Terps here, plus the 9.5 tonight.
All right, show best bet, Maryland. If you'd like more on that game, I will be breaking it down on the college basketball tip-off show. I will, frankly, probably use many of the same points Mark Zinno did. Hold on.
Promoting other shows on this show. It's not what we do here.
It's me. Okay, we don't do that. I think they would like us to. You know what? I'll say this.
You know what I think about
Can
they?
I say two things? Can I say three things?
About they? Go ahead. Say your things, and I'll tell you what I think about they.
Okay, number one, I may be using some of the same points Mark brought up, but I will be saying them with less intensity and a goofier face. And then also,
and you won't give me any credit. Remember, everybody, you won't say that. Mark Zinno on the Morning Wager said that. You won't say that at all.
You always do when we break the game. When I'm talking about a game we've mentioned, I always say you may have heard me talk about this with my good friend Mark Zinno on the Morning Wager. What do you got to say about that, pal? All right.
Why do you lie to the people?
Well, stop it. All right. And now I will, before I kick it back to you, I will say this would be an excellent time as we talk about other shows here on the YouTube channel to click that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of this content. What do you got to say about that?
I have to say they, with the they you're referring to, they are not on this show. So I don't give a crap what they want. The show is about what we want and the people. The show is about the people. It's the only show that is for the people. Other than that, it's just, people droning on about their record. 3 years ago, I was 66%.
My. The comments section was also a handicapper at WagerTalk.com.
Yes. Look at my record. Right. It's fantastic. On the 5th Tuesday. We're getting kicked off stage. Look at this. We get a chance.
Yes. You know why? Because you know what? You could say the show's all about us and it's for the people. But at the end of the day, it's what Joe Ranieri tells us to do. And when he says the show's over, it's over. The show's over. Thank you. We've given you a lot of different vacation ideas on the program. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.